I'd like to demonstrate for you the proper installation of the Wilson Combat TTU Tactical Trigger Unit. Okay, the first thing that you always want to do when you're doing anything to your gun is clear the weapon and verify that it is unloaded. What we're going to want to do is remove the upper receiver from the lower by removing the takedown pins. Set your upper receiver aside. Now, you're most likely going to have a trigger such as this one that's multiple pieces, and you want to put your weapon in the fire position and release the hammer from the trigger. You always want to catch that and let it go lightly. And so make sure that your tension is off of the hammer and remove your hammer pin. You're going to want to hold it because it's still going to have some spring tension as you remove your punch. Just set that aside. Next, you'll still have your trigger and your disconnector in there, which is on this second pin. Just tap it out. Hold on to it with your thumb as you pull your punch out, and remove those parts. Just by pushing them out the top. Make sure you're still in the fire position for the installation of the TTU. Okay, this is the Wilson Combat TTU as it's going to come out of the package. And you'll notice a couple of things. When you look at it from the rear, you'll see that the sides of the housing are machined in a way that forces the hammer springs over to the right side. This is normal, and it's the way the trigger's designed. Your right side spring should be shorter than the left side spring and have no interference with your roll pin. The left side spring should be fully seated on top of the roll pin, and this is what resets your trigger. If you ever find that your spring has come off on the left side and is next to the pin or below the pin, your trigger will not reset, and you'll need to just seat that back on top and it'll function as normal again. Okay, so let's go ahead and install the TTU. Make sure it's in the cock position, and we need to just put the very tip of the trigger out the trigger hole in the bottom of the receiver so that it just barely protrudes, and push it all the way forward as far as you can so that it'll allow your tang here for the safety to snake in front of it. So go all the way to the front, barely sticking out, and snake that around the safety in front of it and down, and then you can bring the front of your TTU down. And it'll be pretty much sitting in the proper spot. Line up your front hole. Install your pins with the detent side first from the safety side. Put your front pin in, and you'll notice your rear pin hole is going to be offset just a hair because you're against the spring tension on the housing of the TTU. So just put your second pin in with a little bit of tension here and push down on the TTU until that lines up and your pin drops in. Just a light tap on each one to get them in the right place, and it's installed. Okay, now if you're installing a two-stage TTU, all the installation will be exactly the same as with the single-stage TTU, with the exception of, rather than installing it with the hammer in the cock position as shown here, with the two-stage you'll need to go ahead and release the hammer and have that in the open position before you're able to put it in. Once you've done that, it's the same. Just put the trigger in until it just pokes out, snake the back end around the safety so it's laying in there, and then go ahead and just push this back and put it in the cock position once it's housed inside, or else you won't be able to get around the safety. Always verify the function. Again, when you release this, be sure not to let it come forward. Catch that with your finger. and you want to just verify that it releases properly, connects on the disconnector properly, and releases from the disconnector properly. Check that you have all that function properly, and then check your safety and make sure that you have no movement of the trigger in the safe position. And that's all there is to it. Straightforward installation. Go ahead and put your upper receiver back on.